I'll get with y'all when I hear more. We should have it good though. In the Lord's name, we hope so. Got a little problem here in this corner. Here we are.
Hello and welcome to Farwell Field. Adam Plager alongside Ian Goldstein. The Forsters return home after a 55-0 shutout victory against the Lawrence University Vikings. And in that game, Ian, the Forsters did an excellent job having to battle some inclement weather.
83.
And take a look back
Heat.
at that game against the Lawrence Vikings. It was Damon Bonds who began the scoring with a 1-yard rushing touchdown, continuing his excellence from week one. He kind of led the Forsters on the ground in the run game. And then Beckham Sonnabend converted his first collegiate field goal. It was a 27-yard field goal. So the Forsters, after the first quarter, were leading 10-0 and then continued to roll from there, scoring 3 times in both the second and third quarters. In the second quarter, it was Armani Brown with 2 touchdowns back-to-back, a 4-yard running touchdown and a 10-yard running touchdown. And then it was Damon Bonds on another 1-yard touchdown for his 3rd of the season. Both running backs continuing to pace the Forster offense in that game. In the third quarter, as the Forsters continued to grow their lead, it was first Jimmy Lonegro on a punt return touchdown, a special teams touchdown for Lake Forest, and then Trey Stewart got his feet moving, a 7-yard rushing touchdown for Stewart. And then to cap it off, it was George Marone with his first career collegiate touchdown. Beckham Sonnabend also added another field goal, so he's 2 for 2 on field goal conversions on that game, but on the season 2 for 3. Obviously there was the blocked field goal in that game. So Ian, a really excellent job by Lake Forest, but it was really the running game that contributed to the offense, not really the passing game for Trey Stewart.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Cap this week, and he praised their their running back tandem of Armani Brown and Damon Bonds. Armani, he said, was more of a bruising back, and Damon was a lightning in a bottle type of back, of using his speed. But he just praised how he really trusts both guys to be able to make whatever play is necessary, and that's a big part of why they're able to get their running game so strong.
Talking about the importance of this game, a streak continues to be on the line for Lake Forest as they continue their defense of the Midwest Conference title. There's a lot more going on than just that for the Forsters. It's 8 consecutive home wins, which dates back to Saturday, November 9th of the 2019 season, which was a 34-20 loss against St. Norbert College. They've also won 12 straight games against their Midwest Conference foes and 15 consecutive regular season games. And during the streak, Ian, the Forsters have shut out their opponents 3 times at home and 5 Midwest Conference opponents, and they scored 40 or more points on 10 occasions. So the Forsters really looking to kind of continue the spark that they have found since last season.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance early this season by the defense. They're actually second in Division III in yards allowed per game, 133 yards allowed per game. That's, again, second in all of Division III, so very impressive, although it's small sample size. But the defense has definitely been a strength of theirs early in this young 2022 season.
Yeah, let's talk about the defense for a second, Ian. Just dating back to last game, obviously, no Dante Esposito, so some players having to step up. Dominic Lewis, one of those guys that comes to mind, 4 tackles on special teams of his 5 tackles that he recorded in the 55-0 shutout victory against the Lawrence Vikings. Mark Rice and Nate Barnes both recorded a sack, and Jackson Garish recorded his first career interception. And the Foresters still yet to allow a point since the first drive of the season. So this team has been excellent defensively, which has really kind of jump-started the offense too. really kind of feeding some contagious energy to that side of their game too.
Yeah, we actually just had defensive coordinator and assistant head coach Luke Butts walk right past us up to his booth where he will be calling the defense today. And as you talked about, as you said, Dominic Lewis leading the team in tackles this season as only a sophomore. Really, Coach Cat talked about how he came into camp this season much more confident than last year, even after having played lacrosse in the spring of 2022, which meant he missed spring ball, but he came back without missing a beat, and so far it's been shown with his production.
So let's take a look just at last game, how excellent the defense was. They only allowed 2 first downs in that game, only 18 yards of total offense against. So just complete shutdown defense for the Foresters.
Absolutely. They have, as we said, some young guys that can do it as well as some some veterans, including Javon Quinn, who will be wearing the commemorative number 93 today, which is always a special number in this Forester program for defense. He's also a captain and is second on the team in tackles with 10 on the season.
In addition to all of that, too, the Foresters have only allowed 5 conversions on third downs, and it's another big part of the game, able to stop your opposition on third down and having to force them to punt the ball. And a funny thing about forcing the other team to kick the ball or punt the ball, they have been afraid to do that when A.J. Jackson has been on the field. That might not be the case this afternoon, as his status looks to be as he will most likely be unavailable for this game. Obviously, Coach Catanzaro is not going to release all of those details to us. Dante Esposito, a guy that is yet to play in a game, the word on him was most likely for him to kind of wait until week 4, so he continues to battle some lower body injuries. And the Foresters, the biggest thing they want is to get this team really back to full health. And once you get there, this can be a really dangerous team for opponents to try and face. And I think it's time to take a quick break, though, on the Boomer broadcast station. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the opponent, the Knox College Prairie Fire, and a look at the matchup history between these two teams. All of that when we come back. Welcome back to Farwell Field. Adam Plager alongside Ian Goldstein. The pregame show continues, and the energy already electric inside Farwell Field. 2,000 seated capacity here. Built in 1903, has had some renovations along the way, but the crowd here is more than fired up for some football. But before all that, Ian, let's take a look and preview our opponent, the Knox College Prairie Fire. This is a team looking to try and rebound and get back into the win column, suffering a 33-6 loss against Ripon, so they began the season 0-1 in conference play. They were, however, victorious, though, in their season opener, picking up a victory against Eureka in a non-conference game. Excuse me, yeah, it was Westminster. Sorry about that on the correction there, but Knox College, though, a team known to really want to run the football. They like to use that triple option, and more times than not, they're kind of set up in a double slot. Sometimes they'll go to unbalanced pro, where they'll throw out a tight end onto the field, and defensively they like to go with a cover 3 defense. Knowing some of those things, Ian, what are going to be kind of some keys against the Prairie Fire?
Yeah, obviously we talked to Coach Cat this week. He said it'll be a very unique challenge going against the triple option. Not a lot of teams at this level run it, but You have to see from Lake Forest defense, discipline, consistent execution, and focus are the three terms he used. And he said one wrong step could turn into a big play, so definitely got to remain focused for the Foresters in this game.
Well, it's about time for the playing of the national anthem, so we're going to step aside here in the playing of our nation's colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly...
I apologize, y'all. I mean, absolutely no disrespect, but we can't get copyrighted. Sorry. It is the national anthem, though. And I made a mess. Let's deal with the issues here. All right.
Welcome back to Farwell Field here in Lake Forest, Illinois. The Foresters welcoming the visiting Knox College Prairie Fires. Foresters looking to improve to 2-0 in the conference and 3-0 on the season. A couple of thoughts here before we get you to the kickoff. Some key injuries, though, going to be a big topic in this one. Obviously,
Niko, Powe, 83.
most likely no A.J. Jackson, and going to be without their star cornerback, most likely, and Dante Esposito will be a storyline to watch in this game. But because of that, Ian, some players have really stepped up in a big way for the Foresters, and some of those guys that have stepped up. Look at sophomore Langston Matoyer for the Foresters, pacing them in the passing game. 5 targets, 105 yards, 52.5 yards per game for Matoyer, averaging 21 a play. No touchdowns yet, but his longest reception was a 47-yard reception. And how about the tight end Alan Hansen? He scored the first touchdown of the season for the Foresters on a 6-yard pass from Trey Stewart in the season opener against Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Ian, who are going to be some guys to kind of focus in on in this matchup for the Foresters as they look to continue their success?
Could be the question here for Knox. Their quarterback, Cale Williams, is also the leading rusher. As we said, they run the triple option as you see both teams in the middle of the field for the coin toss. As you saw on the right, A.J. Jackson not in his pads. He will not play today. He's trying to rest up for after their bye week, the home stretch of this season.
Weird.
And Knox has won the toss and will start with the ball as the two teams shake hands, and we're just about a minute away from kicking off here at Farwell Field.
Yeah, well, we are just about set for kickoff, and now for the call of today's game, the voice and doing the play-by-play, Ian Goldstein. Ian, take it away.
Thank you, Adam. As we said, we're just about a minute away from kickoff here at Farwell Field. It's a beautiful day, around 80 degrees, sunny. No rain in the forecast in Lake Forest. So as we said, Lake Forest will kick it off to start the game, and Knox will receive. And, of course, Knox runs a triple option, but they only scored 6 points in the last game against Knox.
Only 5 first downs, too. 4 of those were rushing first downs. So, obviously, the kind of key for them is going to be on the run game for Lake Forest. Something that they have talked about, though, as far as their defense, is kind of going 5 heavy, 5 linemen to kind of just trap them and just clog up the line of scrimmage and really allow no room for the running backs or the quarterback for Knox. And talking to Justin Albee yesterday, he was kind of saying that they're going to pretty much hand the ball off to everyone except their offensive linemen. So even receivers will be known to rack up yards due to rushing. So if they can kind of shut things down and be excellent on their coverage, this Forester defense should continue their rock standard mentality and really allow their offense to take this game over.
It'll be Logan Person to kick things off for the Foresters, the senior punter. And to return for Knox, it will be Hunter Anderson and Trevor Geggy. I believe Owen Beaver is there back to return for the Prairie Fire, and Hunter Anderson. Excuse me. As we are just about ready to get underway, here comes Logan Person, and we are off. And it looks like Beaver will drop the kick, but picks it up and slides down short of the 20-yard line. A nice defensive stop by the Forester special teams.
Excellent kick, too, from Person, really forcing the Prairie Fire to come a long way down this field on their first drive of the game, and seeing that dropped, that fumble on the kickoff kind of gave me flashbacks from week 1 where we saw the Warriors have a dropped punt when the Foresters kicked it down the field. So bringing back a little bit memories of that from the first week.
So as we said, if the Knox offense runs out on the field, they run a triple option, so definitely a new type of offense for the Forester defense to deal with. It'll be Cale Williams, the quarterback, who gets the snap in the shotgun. And he'll look to pass, actually, on this first play. And find a man for a... No, it's an incomplete pass, says the referee. Apparently his feet were out of bounds. That was Tyler Elfring on the intended receiver. But an interesting start for this game from the triple option offense.
And not what we are typically accustomed to seeing from the Prairie Fire. First play of the game, like you mentioned, looking to spot a man down the field, really kind of deviating a little bit from what we're so used to seeing them hand the ball off. And Williams tried to pick his target for the first play of the game.
Elfring is their leading receiver this season with 3 catches and 96 yards. That time they will hand it off to a running back, Hunter Anderson.
Well, Hunter Anderson is one of their lead guys in the run game. He leads Prairie Fire, aside from their quarterback, Cale Williams, in rushing yards. And Foresters do an excellent job right at the line of scrimmage, really keeping a really nice gap and clogging it up.
So I'll bring up 3rd down and 10 now. Forester defense and sideline are already pumped up, trying to start off this game on the right foot. And Williams will get it under center and hand it off for no gain. The Foresters thinks they have it for a fumble, and they do. What a start on defense for the Foresters as Sam Walker handled the handoff and fumbled it on 3rd down. So the Foresters start with some great field position, not even about a minute into this game.
What a fast-paced start for the defense, allowing nothing for the Prairie Fire offense. And Lake Forest continuing to roll to the beat of the same drums. They allow no conversions on 3rd down from their opponent, and they do the same here on the Prairie Fire's first opportunity on a 3rd down conversion.
So the Foresters start on offense just outside of the red zone on the 22-yard line of the Prairie Fire. As Trey Stewart...
Really short field, too, for Trey. Almost right inside the red zone to begin the game. Kind of give him a little boost of energy, too.
I'm not sure what kind of discussion is going on between the officials and Coach Catanzaro. I think it might be concerning the clock.
Well, first drive of the game, I think the question here, Ian, is it going to take a second for Trey to kind of get warmed up and get into his rhythm? Or is he going to be rocking and rolling right from the jump, from the outset in this one? A lot of those things when we spoke to Coach Cat was just him continuing to get more and more comfortable with his receivers.
So the issue may be with the play clock here, but nonetheless, here's Trey Stewart who fakes the handoff. Gets a little bit of a screen pass going to Seth Jelinek, who gets a nice gain. And the Forester offense passing the ball is off to a good start.
Yeah, nice play. Short, simple play, too, for Jelinek and the Foresters. And this season, Jelinek for the Foresters is going to kind of be one of those guys they look to.
They'll again run the exact same play. Here's Jelinek again. That time he'll get the first down inside the 10. So, even though they ran the same play on the first two consecutive plays from scrimmage, the Foresters have some success on both.
Yeah, nice play, too, for the Foresters. Out of their wide receiver, Seth Jelinek, obviously no A.J. Jackson in this game, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see as this game rolls on who Trey is going to kind of pinpoint in the passing game.
So now first down and goal. They'll hand it off to Damon Bonds, and Bonds is stopped after a short gain by Davis Brumbaugh.
Well, already 3 touchdowns on the season for Damon Bonds. He led the team in rushing yards a season ago.
So second down and goal here will be marked as a gain of 1 for Damon Bonds, his first carry of the afternoon. And they'll hand it off to Bonds again, who has a hole. And diving for the goal line, they'll say he's just a little bit short. They'll mark him down at about the 2-yard line. So third down and goal for the Foresters.
Nice to see Stewart 2 for 2 already on the day in completions, and he was 10 for 18 a week ago, but nice to see him kind of find some rhythm too to his passing game.
So third down and 3 from the goal line. It'll be Stewart handing off to Bonds again, who makes a nice juke move and is in the end zone for a touchdown, Foresters.
Damon Bonds once again striking early for Lake Forest. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He's kind of been one of those go-to guys alongside Armani Brown, and the Foresters kind of take control with that short field.
So Beckham Sonoben comes on for the extra point. The freshman's got off to a good start and young in his college career. And he remains perfect on extra points so far, and that gives the Foresters a 7-0 lead early in this game.
Yeah, it was interesting, too, talking to Coach Cat about Beckham Sonoben and kind of his presence as the new guy, taking the reins as the kicker. It was Goldhammer a season ago. He's kind of picked it up where he left it off for him. 2 field goals a week ago, and it's really just he's continuing to grow that confidence as the kicker, and he's super technical, too, in his motion.
So again, Logan Person will kick it off for the Foresters. As Knox tries to build some momentum, they were stopped after very minimal yardage before fumbling on third down, giving the Foresters a short field. And if you remember, the original kickoff to start off with the game was actually initially mishandled by the Prairie Fire Kendall Ballman, who picked it up but was in danger of losing the ball in the first play of the game. But again, it's Kendall Ballman and Hunter Anderson back to return. And that time they'll let it squirt in the end zone for a touchback. So the Forester defense on the field ready to go. Knox still calling the play from the sideline. But Adam, what did you see from that first drive offensively for Knox, and what do you think they need to do differently?
Well, it was kind of interesting, kind of seeing them going to the passing out.
This is just technical difficulties, y'all. This is just technical difficulties, y'all. This is just technical difficulties, y'all. I'm gonna keep running that back. This is just technical difficulties, y'all. I'm gonna keep running that back.
First down of the game for the Prairie Fire.
He said first down is Williams will look to pass again, and he does, but a nice pass breakup and interception.
Oh my
A
Lord.
beautiful play to break that one up and get the INT. Jason Clark
Come
was the
on.
receiver. And for the Foresters,
Hey, Knox, y'all they gotta
off.
figure it out, y'all. That's just
Well,
no cap.
There's a reason why this team likes to
But we
use
are
the
having
running game,
technical
and
difficulty, y'all.
the Foresters create a fumble, and then with the interception, this time it's Peterson, and that rock standard mentality defensively for the Foresters continuing to prevail and really going to look to unleash their offense.
So credit Trenton Brill also on that INT. He's the one who put the big hit on Jason Clark to knock it loose, as they hand it off to Damon Bonds once again, who, fighting for extra yardage, is finally dragged down by Knox. That was Ian Rao on the tackle, the fifth-year senior, leading the team in tackles for the Prairie Fire. It'll be second down and 6.
Well, the defense for the Foresters kind of leading the charge in this game, and it's been the backbone to their success, and it's really kind of fueled their offense.
So here's Stewart. He will look to pass, and he goes
Oh my.
deep.
Come
Yeah,
on now,
and
that's
touchdown.
too easy. The Tay, it's upper
Touchdown,
Chicago
Foresters.
area. Well,
That was Ty Thomas, the first year from Scottsdale, Arizona, made with the touchdown catch.
Well, Foresters, all they look to do is try and create a mismatch down the field. Foresters win that one-on-one battle, and Thomas, the first year, Foresters extend this lead.
And Sonnabend knocks it through for the extra point, so just under 6 minutes underway in this game, already 14-0 Foresters.
Well, Lake Forest kind of knew their game plan going into this game against the cover 3 defense of the Prairie Fire. Try and beat them down the field, try and create a mismatch. Foresters do an excellent job, and Trey Stewart continuing to adapt and trying to continue to build that chemistry with his receivers. Thomas has his first collegiate touchdown.
First collegiate catch that time on that 38-yard touchdown. So definitely a great moment for Ty Thomas. His first catch and his first score of his collegiate career as Logan Person.
Well, some of these injuries open up those opportunities for guys like Thomas, and it's really up to them to take advantage, kind of seize the opportunity. Thomas does just that. All these guys, too, kind of battling for their playing time, wanting to have an impact on Coach Cat's lineup card day in and day out.
And so Logan Person will kick it off for the Foresters. And again, a little bit of a dirty fielding, but then he gets some room to run. And down at the 33, Foresters thought he fumbled, but I think he was down before that happened. It was Kendall Ballman on the return. That was a nice return for the Prairie Fire.
Yeah, excellent recovery, too. Almost fumbling the kickoff by the Foresters. Would have been the second time we saw that in this game. Now the mindset has to be for the Prairie Fire, kind of flipping that switch, hitting that reset button. It's been an ugly start for them to start this game, but trying to wipe the slate clean, if you will.
So first down from the Knox 33. It'll be Williams rolling out to his right, chased by Albee. He'll get his first completion of the game. That will not be for his first completion of the game. That was to Kiera Turner. So nice pitch and catch for a first down for Knox. They've been utilizing the passing game a little bit more than we would have expected early on. But a nice completion for Kill Williams on his first of the game for about 10 yards, and there's a flag.
I want to go back to that touchdown for Thomas. Really nice to see Stewart kind of, well, this is going to be looks like a bigger penalty too.
15-yarder for the Foresters. It must have been a personal foul. I'm not sure on who, but Knox is deep in Forester territory already.
This is the best.
Lake Forest 29.
Best field position of the game, and kind of a break that goes to Prairie Fire Wire. See if they can take advantage.
Here's Williams, who pitches it to Kiera Turner. Before he's tackled by Nick Reek after a short gain. So second down and 7 as Turner checks out of the game. He's been more of a presence that we expected for Knox early in this one. This time Williams will take it from the shotgun and take it himself, calls his own number and has a hole inside the 10, and Williams is in for the touchdown. Knox.
Well, Williams, no stranger to running the football. He found some daylight, blown coverage for the Foresters off the line of scrimmage, and they find a place where they create some separation and beat the Forester defensive line, and a big-time response for the Prairie Fire after conceding 2 touchdowns within the first 10 minutes of this game.
That was Williams' third rushing touchdown of the season. It'll be Preston Wade to kick the PAT, and he knocks that one through. So 14-7, Lake Forest still on top. Just under 8 minutes left in this first quarter.
Well, we spoke prior to this game that if you make a mistake against the triple option offense of the Prairie Fire, it can lead to a big play against you, and that's the exact result for the Foresters and their defense. Williams breaking through, trying to turn the tide in this game, as it was Lake Forest off to a electric start, paced by their defense. Already an interception thrown by Williams, so a much better drive, trying to feed some confidence to the Prairie Fire offense that had been struggling to that point in the game.
So it'll be Jace Knutson and Damon Bond back to return for the Foresters, and Preston Lade will be the kickoff specialist for the Prairie Fire. Wade handles both the kicking and punting duties as well as the kickoff duties, as you see here. And it'll be Knutson who drops the kick, picks it up, and he's across the 20, down about the 25, 26 yard line. They'll mark it at the 26. And so that'll bring us to first down for the Foresters.
So used to seeing A.J. Jackson being there, being the guy to receive the kickoff, and obviously puts a guy like Knutson into a different area of the game, another facet of the game. So it's not just on offense, but also the special teams that A.J. Jackson contributes to this Forester team. 4 punt return touchdowns a season ago, 8 on his career.
We'll hand it off to Armani Brown this time, who rumbles his way past the 30. A nice tackle from the Knox defender, Anthony Garcia.
Nice to see Brown pick up some positive yardage. One of those go-to guys in the run game last week for Coach Catanzaro, paired up with Damon Bonds.
That was Brown's first carry of the game. They'll fake the handoff that time to Brown, and Stewart will look deep for Jelinek, and just out of the reach of Jelinek, just a little bit overthrown, but there is a flag on the field.
Once again, the Foresters looking to stretch the field vertically against the Prairie Fire. That time it was Jelinek trying to create that mismatch in that one-on-one down the field. Stewart just missing connecting with his receiver, Jelinek, that time. He would have been all into the end zone if he was able to catch up to it.
But our penalty is on Knox, so Foresters catch a little bit of a break there, holding on a Prairie Fire defender. So first down and 10 from the Prairie Fire 31.
Well, that incompletion, the first of the game for Stewart, 3 for 4 on the day, but him kind of sending one in that range down the field, kind of showing some of his confidence early on in this game, and a nice sign for Lake Forest.
So Stewart now in the shotgun will look to pass again, and he finds his man Langston Matoyer, who makes a man misses it across in Knox territory to about the 45-yard line.
Excellent job, Matoyer, getting open down the field. Nice short little completion for Stewart.
That's Matoyer's first catch of the game, and puts the Forester offense at about midfield, second down and 1. Stewart hands it off to Brown, who gets met right in the immediately by Caleb Spinks of Knox. A nice play by the senior from Galesburg, Illinois, where Knox is located. And so a third down opportunity for Knox to potentially make a stop and look to tie up this game. So third down and 1. Stewart again hands it off to Brown, who has more of a hole this time. And he's met by two defenders inside the 45.
Nice gain for Armani Brown.
Credit Anthony Ratliff and Kendall Ballman on the dual tackle for Knox. So first down as the Foresters are at the Knox 42-yard line.
Foresters 1 for 1 now. Small sample size on third down conversions, but really nice to see them find a way to extend this drive.
Stewart will hand it off to Brown again, who is patient and fights his way forward. He might have gotten the first down with a nice push by the Forester offensive line as well as Armani Brown. So it will be a first down after the tackle by Anthony Ratliff.
Kind of switching back and forth between Brown and Bonds in this running game early on. Bonds, a little bit of that lightning in a bottle. Earlier in this drive, we saw Armani Brown, the bruising running back, as Coach Catanzaro likes to describe it.
We'll hand it off to Brown again. And some nice tackling by Knox. That time it was John Sarich who wrapped up Armani Brown for a short gain. So second down now for the Foresters.
Brown entering play today, 103 yards rushing. Damon Bonds, 113. So those two guys leading that charge.
Second down and 7. Stewart will look to pass now. Goes deep again for Jelovich. At that time it's over his head. He'll look for a pass interference call or unnecessary roughness on that hit, but he won't get it. So that'll bring us to third down and 7 for the Foresters.
Well, Jelovich is looking for a call after he felt like he got a shot right to his face mask after the throw by Stewart sailed over his head. Felt like he might have been interfered with a little bit.
So third down and 7. Play clock winding down. The Foresters will have to hurry. 4 seconds. 1. They don't get it off in time as the officials blow the play dead. So some sloppy play from the Foresters. They get a delay of game. That'll bring us to third down and 12 now.
Third and long now for Lake Forest. See if they try and put the ball back into the air one more time against the cover 3 that Knox likes to display on defense.
Well, it sounds like to avoid the delay of game, the Foresters did call timeout, or Jim Catanzaro did, coach. And so Foresters will remain at third down and 7. Now with 2 timeouts, 4:16 left in this first quarter. Foresters looking to extend their lead. They're up 14-7 now. Adam, third down and 7. What are you looking to see on this conversion attempt for the Foresters?
Like to see the offensive line try and provide Stewart or their running backs some time and space. Try and just create a little bit of opening down the field. All they need is those 7 yards to keep this drive alive. This offense has been excellent in this game already. 2 touchdowns.
Foresters are 2 for 2 on third down. See if they can make it 3 for 3. Stewart hands it off to Brown, who spins and rumbles his way forward. Did he get the first down? I believe he did. A nice run there from Armani Brown, who's been leading the Foresters today with now 34 yards rushing. And the Foresters now just outside of the red zone, the 22-yard line.
Brown sticking to his game plan, just bulldozing his way, kind of bullying his way through the Prairie Fire defensive line.
It's time Stewart to look to pass. Facing some pressure, so he jumps it off to Brown for a short gain. But as you saw that time, I believe that was Kyle Conway forcing the pressure on the quick throw from Knox.
Yeah, trying to force Stewart out of the pocket, trying to get him uncomfortable. Stewart's been excellent, 4 for 5 in his passing game. Knox just looking for any way to try and tip him off, and they got to him quickly.
Second down and 9. Stewart hands it off to Brown again. That time he's met immediately by Caleb Spinks. Spinks now with his second tackle of the afternoon.
Kind of gobbled up Lake Forest that time around. Met him right as he tried to cross the line of scrimmage.
So third down and 8 as the Foresters are now officially in the red zone at the 20-yard line. Again, 3 for 3 on third down conversions in this game. Stewart looks to throw, and he finds Brown on the screen, and Brown has some room. And pummels his way forward for a touchdown. Nice job by Armani Brown to break a couple tackles and get into the end zone for a receiving touchdown. His first of the season.
Yeah, excellent job. Brown picking up those yards after the tackle, after he made that reception. And then back to that running back mindset, just beating defenders down the field.
Logan Sonabend on for the extra point, and he kicks that one through, or no good. I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see from our angle, but he missed that's his first missed extra point of his college career, so it'll remain 20-7. Foresters still on top.
Nice to see the Foresters respond after Knox looked to get themselves back into the game with the Williams rushing touchdown. Foresters once again make it a 2-possession game.
So 2:22 left in this first quarter. Foresters up 20-7. As Logan Person gets ready to kick it off. What are you looking for, Adam, to see on this drive from Knox trying to stay in this game?
Just trying to kind of continue some of that success from their last drive. They were able to kind of beat the Foresters a couple of times off the line of scrimmage and providing some separation, some gaps in the field, and that's exactly what the Prairie Fire did, capitalizing, and obviously was Williams' last go around that's put in the dagger with his rushing touchdown, but also have not been afraid to throw the ball down the field either, so they've tried to mix it up a little bit.
So that kickoff by Person right in the end zone for a touchback, so Prairie Fire started with 25. And Williams will go under center now. And keep it himself. He scored a touchdown in his last run. And that time he's tackled. That's a shoestring tackle by Dominic Lewis.
Lewis paced the Foresters in tackles a week ago with 5. One of those guys stepping up on defense in the absence of Dante Esposito, one of their premier cornerbacks.
Looks like there's an injured Prairie Fire player on the offensive line. That's Jacob Leasis. This is getting medical attention. A junior from McHenry, Illinois. He has some family in the crowd with Jesus jerseys. And he does walk up under his own power. Hopefully he'll be able to return soon. But for now, 2nd down and 2 for the Prairie Fire. 2:12 remaining in this first quarter.
2-minute drill about to be underway for the Prairie Fire. They're going to look to try and move down the field as quickly as they can, try and make it a one-possession game.
Williams will pitch it to Hunter Anderson, who shuffles his way forward for a first down. So a nice little 3-yard scamper for Hunter Anderson, who's the leading receiver for anyone not named Cale Williams for Knox. Anderson, a junior from Paxton, Illinois.
$83 gains this season for Anderson entering play. In the run game, obviously, like you mentioned, Williams, the leader in that category.
And that time they'll hand it off. They believe Williams actually kept that. It was kind of hard to see with all that movement, but nonetheless, the Prairie Fire get a nice gain to about the 46-yard line.
A little bit of a cornerback sneak that time around for Williams, kind of burying himself in the traffic, and
I believe they kind of faked the handoff on the zone read and didn't pitch it. So mark that as a 9-yard gain for Cale Williams. Williams takes the handoff again. He'll keep it himself, and that time shuffles forward for a first down.
Well, 4 of 5 first downs a week ago were rushing first downs, and Williams decides to take the load himself. That's kind of his game right there. Scramble in the pocket, have nothing, take it himself.
So that tackles by Jalen Johnson for the Foresters. I believe Javon Quinn was in there also, the 93 today for the Foresters. And it looks like Knox is going to let time run out in this first quarter. And so as we head into the second, Foresters up 20-7, but the Knox Prairie Fire are driving. They'll flip the field and take over on offense, but as we continue this drive for the Prairie Fire, Adam, what are you looking to see for the rest of this drive if the Knox wants to score a touchdown to get back within one possession?
Well, just looking at the numbers, 1 for 3 in completions per attempts for Williams. Their touchdown was a rushing touchdown too, so it's going to be the running game. It's going to kind of motor this offense, and obviously they've already thrown an interception. They've already had a fumble in this game, so obviously their run game, their game on the ground is going to be it's got to be their game plan in this game, and maybe try and tip off the Foresters with the pass after maybe a series of runs at a time where the Foresters least expect it. But again, for Lake Forest, it's about being dominant off the line of scrimmage, shading the right way, and not missing assignments. One time the Forest missed their assignment, it was Williams found some daylight and took it to the house. Outside of that, Forester defense has been excellent, especially early on in this game, kind of fueling those drives offensively from Stewart.
So first down and 10 from the Knox 49. Williams rolls to his right and finds a man for completion right on cue. That's Tyler Elfring, who's tackled by a host of Forester defenders. But he has enough for the first down at about the Forester 39-yard line. But as you said, Knox has been able to pitch in or mix in the pass game once in a while, and they did that time a 11-yard completion to Tyler Elfring.
I think something that helps too is Williams, a guy that's kind of known for his ability to scramble in the pocket at times. Really is a patient quarterback, contributes a lot to that.
This time he's stopped immediately as the Foresters read that option play to perfection. And Mark Rice was first on that tackle. So second down and 9 for the Prairie Fire. Williams under center. And fakes the handoff again. He'll take it himself. And again met by some Forester defenders. I believe that was Javon Quinn who got there first. So third down now.
Defensive player of the week named by Coach Catanzaro a week ago. One of those leaders defensively. Another nice tackle from him.
Captain on this team. So third down and 5. Knox is outside of field goal range. Preston Lade, their kicker, is a senior, has hit a long of 38 of 39 on the season and his career. From here it would be about a 52-yarder. But he gets the completion that time. That is Tyler Elfring again. And so Knox gets the first down. And they'll continue this drive, hoping to score some points and make it a one-possession game.
Longest drive of the afternoon for the Prairie Fire. Just a patient group offensively. Just a lot of small gains offensively. Then when they can make the big play, that's where they try and hurt their opponents.
Williams gets handed off that time. Hunter Anderson with the short carry. So second down now for the Prairie Fire. Knox now in the red zone. Second down and 8. And they'll pitch it. And he's stopped immediately by the Foresters. A nice defensive play. Tackler that time, Robert McPhee.
Fifth-year senior Robbie McPhee. The guy that understands his assignments like the back of his hand. He's no stranger to kind of making some of these plays. It looked like it was in the backfield, too.
That was Cole Gino, I believe, on the carry for negative yardage. So third down and 11 here for Knox. Hunter Anderson the back behind Cale Williams this time. But they'll look to pass. Go for the end zone and complete. Nice defensive pass breakup.
Great coverage by the Foresters, outnumbering the Prairie Fire in the end zone.
Tyler Elfring was the intended target. It looks like the Prairie Fire will stay on the field for fourth down offense. So 4th and 11, a big play here. Foresters would really love to stop, but Knox really wants to make it a one-possession game, apparently.
4th and long. Rarely you see a team try and go for it.
I think Knox knows that if they don't score on this possession, this game could get out of hand ugly. And Knox will call timeout to think things over. Their head coach, Aaron Willett, in his second season with the Prairie Fire as alma mater. 4-7 in his career at Knox.
Lake Forest all-time 10-0 in this matchup against the Prairie Fire, 5-0 on their home field. So this is a matchup that has really been owned by Lake Forest
as of late. Yeah, Knox has won this, is winning the series 31-30. So Lake Forest with an opportunity to tie that all-time. But as you said, Foresters have won the last 11 meetings between the Foresters and Prairie Fire. But 4th down and 11 here, Adam. What kind of play call are you looking for the Prairie Fire to dial up?
Well, I think this is a play where you try and outnumber Foresters down the field. Coach Catanzaro and Luke Butts in the defense, they do an excellent job swallowing up the run game. And I don't know, I feel like 11 is maybe a little bit too much to try and pick up on one carry.
Well, it's a high snap, and Williams fumbled it, but he rolls to his left, evades the defender, and incomplete. He was looking for Kier Turner on that pass. He was open, but just couldn't hit his man.
Williams tries to clean up what could have been a very ugly play. The Foresters recovered the high snap. They could have been down the field in a hurry.
So Foresters take over on downs from their own 22-yard line. Looking to make it a 3-possession game. And for Knox, how important is it they get a stop on this possession? As they dump it off to Jake De La Torre. His first catch of the afternoon.
Again, this game is a lot of momentum swings. Try and take it one drive at a time. Try and break it up into small chunks. And if you can find a way to come up with a big stop, keeps your offense right in this game. And the longer that this game stays close, the more and more confident it starts to bleed in to Cale Williams and the Prairie Fire offense, the more that they start to believe that they have an opportunity in this game.
So Stewart sends Jake De La Torre in motion, hands it off to Damon Bonds, who gets a short gain. So 3rd down and 8 or 9, it looks like, for the Foresters.
Well, 4 for 4 this afternoon on 3rd down conversions is Lake Forest. So it's one area of the game you always look to win. 2 for 4 is Knox on their 3rd downs. And already really nice field position for the Prairie Fire. Defensively, almost an entire length of the field for Stewart to have to go.
Well, he'll look to pass, and he eludes the defender, and that'll be a sack by Knox. Credit that one to Caleb Spinks, who's had a great game so far. Couple tackles for loss, and he gets that sack of Trey Stewart. So 4th down for the Foresters.
Well, it looks like Stewart just kind of lost his footing and then was just kind of down for the count right there, ending that drive for Lake Forest. A huge stop defensively, like you talked about, for the Prairie Fire.
So Logan Person will punt it for the first time today. And it'll be a fair catch at about the 45-yard line by Ballman.
Well, Stewart has been sacked in all 3 contests this season, twice against Wisconsin Lutheran and once last week, so there has not been a game that he has kept himself from being sacked. But that time it just kind of looked like as he was scrambling in the pocket, kind of lost his footing and allowed the Prairie Fire to get to him, and kind of just a lame duck that time. And now maybe the best opportunity in this game for Williams and the offense to come back.
Best field position as they hand it off for a short gain as Hunter Williams was tackled by a host of Forester defenders after a gain of about a yard.
Seemed to be the first time Stewart was just a little bit out of rhythm on that drive. He looked very comfortable up to that point in the game, so now kind of an opportunity for him to kind of reset, maybe look back at some film, try and get his game going once more where it was in that first quarter.
Second down and 9. Knox doesn't have a whole lot of time on their play clock left, 5 seconds. They just got out of the huddle. 1 second as Williams just gets it off and finds his man Elfring for a short gain, tackled almost immediately. That was Darian Miller on that tackle. So third down now for Knox. Third down and 4 to be exact.
Even 50% this afternoon, 2 for 4 on third down opportunities. Lake Forest needing a big stop. Try and get a rejuvenated Stewart back onto the field.
You hear this Forester crowd trying to make it hard for the Knox offense to work. Williams rolls to his right, facing some pressure. He'll try to run for it. And he gets tackled at the 40, a hard-hitting Forester defense. But Knox gets the first down nonetheless.
Well, he leads this team in rushing yards already. 6 carries for 51 yards.
So first down and 10 now for Knox. From the Forester 40-yard line, Williams will pitch it to Anderson, who has a hole. And Anderson across the 35 for a short gain of about 7. So second down and about 3. Charlie Ford on the tackle. He had an interception in his first career game 2 weeks ago against Wisconsin Lutheran, and they're on that tackle. Second down and 7. Williams hands it off to Anderson this time, and Anderson pokes his way forward for a short gain. So it'll be third down and short for Knox.
Knox kind of looking to take it to the Forester, is starting to own that time of possession a little bit thanks to a relatively quick drive for the Foresters last go around offensively. Williams just kind of using a little bit of this wave of energy down the field.
Third down and 1. Foresters really like to stop them here, but they won't as Anderson breaks the tackle and fights his way forward for a first down. I think Justin Albee was there, but Anderson eluded the captain from Weymouth, Massachusetts.
Fendler getting into the action there with that tackle. Another captain on this Forester defense. But again, an excellent drive continuing, and a lot of that's just their offensive line creating some openings for their running backs, for their receivers. And most importantly, their quarterback has had no problem scrambling in the pocket.
Here is Williams, who slips down after a short gain. More than anything was trying to avoid a big hit from the Foresters. So second down and about 8
just shy of the red zone. See where the ball is marked here.
But for Knox, had a nice little drive going, under 4 minutes left in this first half. Now really want to get within one possession going into halftime.
Yeah, this is kind of one of these drives where you kind of have to find a way to get points on the board some way, somehow.
And here's Williams, who's wrapped up by Javon Aquin, who says, no, not this time. And so Javon Aquin with the tackle. I believe that is his first of the game.
Forster defense.
Third of the game, rather, sorry.
Forster defense being put to the test on this drive. This is the longest possession for the Prairie Fire. They're just 4 yards shy of the red zone.
3rd down and 9. Williams will look to pass, and he can't complete to Anderson, who just fell off his fingertips on that screen play.
Yeah, excellent job, Lake Forest, creating some pressure upfield, trying to back off the Knox Prairie Fire offensive line. So they wanted to get to Cale Williams, who throughout this drive has continued to kind of create time and space for himself, and that time around kind of started the play before on the Aquin tackle, kind of trying to set up the latest incompletion.
So it looks like Knox will call timeout here with about 3 minutes left from the first half. 4th down and 9. They have it at the 24-yard line, which would make it about a 41-yard field goal attempt. Preston Lade's career long is 39 he hit this season. What do you think they're going to do here? Do they think they'll go for it, try to make it a one-possession game going into a half, or take the points and make it 20-10?
Well, I think they want to get points on the scoreboard, keep themselves right in this game. Like you mentioned, Preston Lade has knocked one down, 39-yarder.
Get it knocked.
I believe he said.
Yes, he's the senior. That was really first points of the season for Knox in that win over Westminster in week 1. 39-yarder, his career long. But it looks like they'll go for it on 4th and 9, trying to get within one possession going into halftime. Williams will look to pass. Lost one high and out of the reach of his intended target, Tyler Elfring. So the Foresters take over on downs, and a missed opportunity there for Knox.
Well, really, that hurts you a little bit if you're the Prairie Fire. One of the best drives they've had of the afternoon. Did an excellent job just churning up yards, picking up some nice gains each play. Williams starting to find some comfortability in running the football. Kind of from the created from that touchdown he scored earlier as he looked to kind of keep that momentum going.
So Foresters take over. They'll hand it off to Damon Bonds, who fooled the Knox defenders and is across the 45-yard line. A nice run there for Damon Bonds. I believe Knox thought that Stu was going to keep it, but handed it off to Bonds and fooled the Prairie Fire defenders.
Excellent job by Damon Bonds. Longest drive of the afternoon.
This time they'll fake the handoff and set up Jelovich for a nice little swing pass for a first down across midfield. So Foresters trying to get some points of their own before halftime. Make it a 3-possession lead. Stewart hands it off to Bonds again, and Bonds pushes his way forward. A nice gain for about 6 yards.
Stewart starting to work a little bit quicker on this drive. Now getting down to the 2-minute warning.
There is no 2-minute warning in college, but still 2-minute drill. The Foresters only have 2 timeouts.
Much better pace, too, for Stewart on this drive.
So Stewart now in the shotgun, second down and 5. Takes the handoff and finds his man for a first down. I believe that's Jelinek again. Seth Jelinek has had a nice game for the Foresters.
He has, picking up 25 yards on 3 carries, another first down.
So that's his third catch of the game, as you said. As here is Bonds looking for a sideline, and he gets dragged down by Knox defender. That was Darnell Centeno on that tackle for Knox, senior from North Miami Beach, Florida. So second down and 5.
Little alteration on the game clock. It'll be set at 1:24 when play resumes. Damon Bonds kind of powering this drive with that huge gain earlier in this to set up this drive.
Yeah,
for Lake Forest.
Last scoring possession, it was mostly Armani Brown. This time it's Damon Bonds. As we talked to Coach Catanzaro about the strengths of having a two-headed machine in the backfield in Browns and Bonds. Stewart fakes the handoff to Bonds. Finds Matoyer, who makes a man miss. Fumbles it out of bounds, but the Foresters will take that. First down and goal inside the 10. A nice juke move from Langston Matoyer to get a couple extra yards.
Another first down here for Lake Forest. Just over a minute to go before the half. Perfect time for Lake Forest to try and make this 3-possession game, try and distance themselves from the Prairie Fire.
The Foresters, you thought they were trying to run out the half and get the last score of the half. There's a flag, probably a false start. That was Braxton Madison on the false start. So that'll push the Foresters back. But as I was saying, with 56 seconds left, Foresters still have 2 timeouts. They're probably looking to get the last score of the half and not give Knox the ball back, but their offense has been too efficient.
Looks like a timeout will be taken by
Knox, I believe. So that's their last timeout of the half. Really want to keep it a 2-possession game and force a field goal. Really, what do you think that would do for them going into halftime if they were able to keep the Foresters from getting it in the end zone?
Well, it gives you a lot of energy, kind of fuels some confidence. It makes you believe that you still have an opportunity to fight back in this game. And Williams has kind of demonstrated his patience, calm manner. He's kind of been taking what he's been given. Hasn't necessarily been a pretty plays for him offensively, but he's all just found ways to create something out of nothing, and it's kind of been the name of the game offensively for the Prairie Fire. And funny bringing up Braxton Madison with that false start earlier, pushes the Foresters back a little bit.
First and 11. It'll be Stewart who keeps it. Nice breaking tackles and eluding defenders, but finally brought down after pretty much no gain. Coach Catanzaro was upset at something, waving his arms violently in the air. I believe trying to call a timeout or something.
Not the first time we've seen Coach Catanzaro fired up from the sidelines. We saw that in week 1 when I believe it was A.J. Jackson or Langston Matoyer who had a huge drive down the field, and there was a penalty behind the play that really got him fired up. This time I think it was a timeout that he wasn't sure if he was going to get.
He was just trying to call timeout, yeah. So Foresters will call timeout. They still have 1 left with 44 seconds remaining in the half.
kind of a turning point too in this game, and you figure if Lake Forest can punch their ticket into the end zone here, kind of really puts the Prairie Fire in a precarious spot, a very vulnerable position, trying to come back from entering the second half.
So second down and goal. Stewart will look to throw and finds a man for a touchdown. Langston Matoyer in the end zone. His first touchdown score of the game. And the Forest is up 26-7 now. 3-possession lead going into halftime almost.
Matoyer, one of those guys stepping up in the presence of A.J. Jackson's injury and his first career touchdown at the NCAA collegiate level.
And the extra point is good from Beckham Sonnabend. But as you mentioned, Langston Matoyer is the leading receiver this season for the Foresters. But that was his first touchdown grab of the year.
He's a guy that's kind of been heating up offensively. We saw week one on one of the longest receptions this season against the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. 47-yard reception, Stewart to Matoyer. This time they team up into the end zone. He's a guy who's looking to make his mark offensively for Lake Forest. And you talk about it now, a 3-possession game, as it was once the Knox Prairie Fire kind of knocking on the door on their last drive of Foresters with a big stop. They've held their opponents to 3.5 points a game. Most points they've surrendered this season was 7.
So as Logan Percy kicks it off for the Foresters, it'll be Kendall Ballman to return. Ballman has an opening and fumbles. Recovered by the Foresters.
There is a flag on the play.
There's a flag, but for now the Foresters have possession inside the 35-yard line. They might want to try to score some more points before halftime, but let's see what the flag is for. Officials now discussing it.
What a turn of events in a span of under 10 seconds. Matoyer strikes on the reception in the end zone.
And that penalty was on Knox, holding. So the Foresters will keep possession with about 34 seconds left in the half. They'll try to add on some more points before halftime.
Looking to change the dynamic of this ball game and really begin to put this game out of reach from the Prairie Fire, who've found ways to hang around in this game. We'll see what might be too much for them if Stewart and the offense connect for a 4th touchdown of the afternoon.
Stewart looks to pass again, rolls to his right, fakes, and that one is intercepted. He was looking
get
to
that,
go
get
to
that.
Mario Florio, and Knox has a little bit of a return.
Come on.
That was Ian Rao on the interception. He returns it to about the 45-yard line. Rough sequence there for the Foresters. They missed that opportunity to score some more points.
First interception thrown this season by the Franklin, Tennessee senior Trey Stewart, trying to target Mario Florio, the first year, down the field. And obviously an aggressive drive for the Foresters, under 30 seconds in the half, just trying to continue to add on points. And that was kind of the last thing he had in mind.
So after 2 straight turnovers on consecutive plays, Knox has the ball. They'll do a little bit of a reverse play. Here is Elvering.
Rocked him.
And Elfring is across the 45-yard line of the Foresters. They'll have to hurry, though. They don't have any timeouts. They'll probably spike it on this play, and that's exactly what they do. So with 11 seconds left in the half, Knox outside of field goal range. Question is, will they try for a short pass or go for the end zone and then field goal, or what do you think they're going to do on this last 11 seconds?
You don't want to get outnumbered down the field if you're Lake Forest. Obviously, Knox wants to try and create a mismatch, stretch this field as vertically as they can. Obviously, just a little bit more than 10 seconds to go in this half. They're looking for a big play right here.
Where's
Something
83?
with the triple option is usually good for getting these long drives quickly, and that one's tipped and
Come
tipped.
on, man.
They were looking for a man down the seam, but it's picked off by the Foresters.
Somebody better get at
Some
him.
running room inside the 30.
Oh, my Lord, and that's the half.
Touchdown Foresters.
Defensive touchdown. Back-to-back weeks they do it. Jimmy Longengrow the week before. This time, it's Trenton Braille. It was deflected earlier, tipped off of Forrester. Braille hangs on to it. Nice to see some excellent hands displayed by a member of the defensive team for Lake Forest.
I believe that was Javon Quinn who tipped it, and of course Trenton Braille with the pick six. Some nice running on the return for the junior from San Clemente, California, and the Foresters.
Second interception committed of the afternoon. This time, Braille takes it all the way to the house.
Donovan knocks down the extra point. So the Foresters go into halftime 34-7 leading. And what a sequence of events in the last 30 seconds of halftime. We had a fumble on the kickoff, then an interception, then another interception and pick six.
Talk about picking up your quarterback too, and Trey Stewart obviously commits his first interception of the season, the young season. And then Trenton Braille and Javon Quinn, obviously it's Braille who runs it all the way down the field. I don't know the total yardage on it, or if we have it, I'm sure I can pull it up. I do. No, 81-yard interception for Trenton Braille, and he is looked to put this game out of reach. And obviously, if you're the Prairie Fire during this halftime, you want to hit the reset button in the biggest way possible. When you thought you picked up some momentum on the interception of their own, Javon Quinn, he's wearing number 93 for a reason. He shows why. And then Trenton Braille scoops it up, runs it all the way down the field. Excellent job, too, by Lake Forest blocking down the field to open up some room for Braille to run it all the way down the field.
83.
Again, guys continuing to step up for Lake Forest. So we will take a break here for halftime. Forest is up 34-7. As Ian Goldstein alongside Adam Plager, as we will see you for the second half in a few minutes. Thanks for joining us.
All right, y'all. Man, what you see? What you seeing over this half? Over that last half, I seen the quarterback's either going to run it, or it's a possibility that it might be an interception. And I ain't throwing no shade, but people will get on and listen to ESPN and listen to all these other sports shows and analysts and respect it. But we get to see it. We watched it. The quarterback's a leading rusher too, so I mean, we know that he gonna rush. I mean, believe it or not. I'm just saying though, it could work though. I don't know if it's defense or offense though, because the Foresters' defense turned into offense. So they ain't really had to do much offense out there. We've been fumbling. Knox been fumbling. Because I wouldn't, they may not approve of what I'm saying. So this is why it's my channel, y'all. Let it be known. We can see it's a quarterback option. They got the option to run or to hand it off or whatnot. And like I said, I'm not knocking any coaching or anything. We just got to be able to execute if those are the things that we're going to do. I would definitely love and enjoy to see number 83, Niko Powe Jr. Get some action. Because I honestly believe that that would be a big difference, a big force out there that might not be able to be dealt with. And I've seen him out there for some snaps and stuff. But, you know, it is weird to see at this point where to watch him dominate for so many years and for seemingly not knowing where to put him or what to do with him. That's odd to me. That's weird to me because once again, we'll listen to a bunch of famous sports editors and give their analysis. And this was definitely a guy, an all-stater, all that, you know. So you kind of wonder. But this ain't no bad session or nothing like that. I'm just saying 83 is useful. I honestly believe 83 is useful. But, hey, we're going to check it out back in the second half. I mean, you see the score, 7:34. You may have just tuned in. You may have just tuned out. But it definitely fell apart within, like, the last 40. It was falling apart, but within, the last 44 seconds, this is what it turned to. So, Saturday football, y'all. We took the skid. I keep saying we. Knox took the skid last week to fall to 1-1. And this week, if it continues on this way and something great isn't going on in the locker room right now, it'll be down to 1-2. But I definitely wouldn't count any game out. It ain't at zeros yet on the fourth quarter. And we see what just happened in the last 40 seconds. So I hope all y'all doing well today. Let me go over a couple things. I just want to thank. Man, I want to thank y'all, man. We went over 6,000 subscribers. People really taking the shorts in. We had 711,000 unique visitors this month. Shout out. Question though. Sorry. It's 602,000 unique viewers. I'll let you see so it isn't cap. Uh-oh. Let me let you see so y'all don't believe it's cap. 602,000 unique viewers. Y'all. So I gotta wonder. Why didn't you subscribe? And this ain't no bash. This ain't no I'm trying to scold you. What was it that didn't allow you to subscribe? What turned you off from that? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a people pleaser or anything of that stretch. But we want to do things well. We want to know what turned you off. Or maybe you didn't know to subscribe. We are challenging you to subscribe now as I see we lost a viewer now. We just seen a viewer check out. But, hey, I do want to get to it because I am so appreciative to you. And shout out Norway. Norway is the top country viewing this content. United States in second. It's really close, though. But shout out Norway on the real. Shout out the U.S. Australia in a real close third. Switzerland in fourth. New Zealand rounding out the top 5. Look, shout out. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much. I know y'all probably came to check out the game or whatnot, but on the real, thank y'all so much. Y'all are incredible. I mean, I'm just looking at the age group. So, I mean, I definitely know people want to learn and grow. And there's some people that might be dealing with maybe what they feel as regret. We got the 65 plus. We got a pretty good audience for the 65-year-olds. So shout out. And it's not as male dominant as people may think this site is. So we definitely got overall viewers. And I'm so thankful for all of y'all for tuning in. That y'all that tune in and y'all that really, consume it, the new subscribers. I'm Niko, y'all. I don't do anything in particular, anything specific besides POV. It's a lot of POV. It won't always be POV though, but I definitely share things that I believe are interesting, things that you may want to see, things that you may not even understand what you're looking at. Because I've seen a lot of people seen the Disney Magic Band entrance and had a lot to say about that. And I definitely enjoy y'all having your own thoughts, minds, and sound offs about it. Investigating it for yourself is what it's definitely going to come down to. Because if you don't end up investigating for yourself, you're just going to have somebody else's idea. And I know we're headed back to the time where the game will be coming back in, but I just appreciate it. Thank you for the love. The top cities. Let me just give you the top cities, y'all. See if we can. Oh, it's changed a little more too. Okay, so we got the top countries for geographies. United States, India, Indonesia, Brazil, United Kingdom. Shout out. Oh, wow, we don't want to mess this up. Haberdan, Jakarta, Bergerlira. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Selena and Los Angeles rounding out the top 5, y'all. Shout out. So, man, it's just incredible to know that, what started as a hobby in people's view or idea has turned into just a worldwide reach and connection, y'all. Definitely grateful for y'all that lend me your time. So I definitely want to make sure that it's a huge investment return because that's really how I view it, y'all. I'm not on here for views. I'm not on here for clicks. I'm not on here for you to be like, oh, wow, look what he did. Because, wow, let there be light. See, there ain't no room to cap on the real to let y'all know that if I can do it, I definitely believe that y'all could do it and to a greater extent and capacity. I do not know how much time it is left before the halftime resumes. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. And I just want to thank y'all that have jumped on. And I am definitely praying all of y'all are well and that you continue to do well and you do better. And you have growth, and you understand that it's not what it's in you, not on you. So we called to be in the world and not of it. And I just know that y'all are shining lights. And some people are on here just to see what's getting done wrong. So I do believe that you could always find something getting done wrong. Okay, I got it off now. You could always find something getting done wrong. But can you see the growth? We definitely want to study to show ourselves approved. And yeah, we made some mistakes on it. This is one of the choppiest lives that we've ever done, y'all. But we're going to get it. Lord willing, we're going to work it out. So if we could just lit up. Tough call. So we're looking at pretty much like, yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to get it back into there. Get it back into the half. We're having some, let's see if we can wipe the lens real quick. And straighten it out. All right, y'all. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got silence as well, so I do want to alert y'all that it could just pop back in. So I don't want y'all to be alarmed. I definitely love y'all. Thankful for y'all. Praying for the safety of everyone in the game. Just the mindset and the IQs. I mean, we may be possibly witnessing something extremely amazing. We never know what could happen by the end of this game. So, you know, I pray for the miracles, that we get to see them, that we get to, hey, display them. Because a lot of times people want to clown, people want to talk about people sharing their faith. And my faith, I believe, puts me in positions a lot of times where people say, you fool. But until you see it, until you're in those shoes, all you can really say is speculation or assumptions of what you would do. And that's why I'm not in no zone of judgment. You know, we here to lift our brother up. We here to lift our sister up, you know, when they fall, you know, and, you know, when we're even in position to do that. So we love y'all. We want to share that, man. A lot of people just get it twisted when they see me doing what I do, man. When I do the songs, man, it's real. It's a delivery. And we can't come soft on it. We can't come like, we not timid. We're not timid. We're not timid to do what we do. And like I said, when the muscle twitches get going, y'all, we gonna do miraculous things. And that's what I believe, that Holy Spirit, that moment, because to break a tackle, to see cuts, to envision what you see first before it happens, that ain't no normal stuff, y'all. And you got to have them muscle twitch fibers out here in your body to make cuts and to cross somebody over, to explode up, to dunk, to be able to come down and land, to run a 100-yard dash in 9 seconds, to, you know what I'm saying? Meter dash, y'all. I'm looking at the football field, but on the real, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I got so much hope, you wouldn't believe it. Like, seriously, you would say, like, I'm hopeful, y'all. I got so much hope. I believe that the Lord will use a fool like me, if I'm considered a fool, a wretch like me, a worthless like me, a person that is viewed unlikely, a person that's viewed unlearned. And that's why I say I'm thankful for y'all 6,000 plus that see, you know, maybe a little something in me that you might see in yourself, or maybe y'all just want to see some destruction. But I don't believe it's that. I don't believe that the Lord's word will come back void. And, you know, we just thankful to be able to do this from the places that we've been, from the things that we could be doing. We thankful to be doing this. So I'm going to let the game resume when it do. Like I said, the sound is on. I don't want to alert or alarm anybody when it blow back in, because it's going to blow back in. With the audio, we are back. But for real, y'all leave some comments, man, on these videos, man, and let me know y'all prayer requests, man. We want to pray with y'all, because people, let me pray for you. Let me pray for you. Like, man, we want to pray with y'all, for real. So we got the score 7-34. You can read it. Knox has 4 out of 12 completions. The Lake Forest, 11 out of 13. I know I said y'all can read it, and then I continue to read it. So here we go. 159 total yards for Knox. 198 total yards offense for Lake Forest. See, it's been a defensive showdown, y'all. Like, and Lake Forest definitely has that. 11 first down, so we got 11-11 on there. The game, man, look at it. The conversions, it's just.
Welcome back to Farwell Field.
We gone, y'all.
Foresters leading
34-7
after
lead comments, y'all. We praying with y'all.
First half, but let's
get it.
Recap you with what happened through that first half. We had a lot of action, Ian, and started off by the offense. Damon Bonds running into the end zone, his 4th touchdown of the season, and then Trey Stewart kind of got his throwing game, his passing game going, connecting with Seth Jelovic. And then Cale Williams running into the end zone. Let's get you, though, some stats from the first half. Lake Forest and Knox tied with 11 first downs. On third downs, Lake Forest is 4 for 5, Knox 4 for 7. Lake Forest with 203 yards offensively, 159 for Knox College. Trey Stewart threw his first interception of the season and 2 interceptions on the day for Cale Williams. Ian, though, what were some of the biggest takeaways from you in that first half?
Well, the Foresters have done a really good job forcing turnovers on that triple option. It was a question mark how they would do it. It was a very unique offensive scheme that Knox runs. And so far, the Foresters have done a good job clogging up those running lanes and forcing a couple turnovers as well. We're just about 3 minutes away from bringing you the second half from Farwell Field.
Some things for me in that first half, really nice to see Stewart, better rhythm offensively, utilizing his arm with the passing game. Looked long a couple of times and maybe didn't come up with those completion, but that's something that we start to see when a quarterback starts to become more comfortable. And then Armani Brown and Damon Bonds doing a great job in the run game for Lake Forest. Let's give you a tour around Forester Athletics. A lot going on in the Forest. For volleyball, it was a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Concordia University Chicago. They lost in their earlier match day against Illinois Tech 3-1, but were victorious against Central Iowa, a shutout 3-0 victory against Central Iowa. So some good signs from Forester volleyball. A look at men's soccer, a tough 1-0 defeat on Wednesday, 1-0 at North Central. Simon McCarskey with 2 saves and Giuseppe Scalera with 6 saves on 7 shots. Tomorrow they take on Kalamazoo at home. A look to women's soccer on Tuesday, an unfortunate shutout defeat 1-0 at the hands of Carroll College. Today they drawed 2-2 against St. Mary's in Indiana. Goals scored by Peyton Tabor and Anna Hoffman. Maggie Kirsting with 3 saves on 5 shots. Forester Athletics continues with women's golf. They finished first just yesterday at the Wisconsin Lutheran Invitational, and their next event will be September 23rd at Wisconsin Whitewater at the Fall Classic. Men's golf finished 8th at the Carthage Fall Classic and play next today at the Wisconsin Lutheran Fall Invitational. And finally, women's tennis. Last Sunday, they were defeated 7-2 against Grinnell, but were victorious in shutout fashion, 9-0 against Monmouth. Let's take a look back at the play of the game. It belongs to Trenton Braille, an 81-yard pass interception touchdown. Forester defense, that rock standard mentality. Excellent. They have been one of those key pieces, Ian, which has really kind of led to this success. We'll try and get you that play of the game as quickly as we can, but what an excellent play, too, to end the half for Lake Forest. Really some momentum going into this second half.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a crazy end of the half as we had a fumble recovery by the Foresters on the kickoff. Then Trey Stewart threw his first interception of the season, and then there was that, of course, that play of the game by Trenton Braille so far on that interception and pick 6 as we're about ready to kick things off in this first half or the second half. It will be Preston Lade to kick things off for the Prairie Fire. Foresters will start with possession in the second half, looking to extend their 27-point advantage. Chase Knutson and Damon Bonds are the 2 men ready to return for the Foresters. And here we start the second half. It'll be Knutson to return it from the end zone. He is a cross of 15, has a couple of blockers, makes a move and is down across the 30-yard line. That was a nice tackle for Knox by Colton Krutzinger.
Knutson already 4 rushes this season, 18 yards. His longest was an 11-yard carry for Jason Knutson. Already a touchdown this season. Rushing touchdown for Jason Knutson. One of those guys starting to get an opportunity here for the Foresters. And again, that ground game continuing to be instrumental.
Yeah, he's already had a couple opportunities this season returning, and as well as a couple in today's game as Stewart hands it off to Armani Brown rather, for a short gain. And so the Foresters start off on the ground in the second half. TJ Nels and David Brumbauer in there on the tackle. So second down and 7. Foresters at the Knox 36-yard line.
Stewart 11 for 13 on the afternoon, his best completion rate this season.
And he'll hand it off to Brown again, and Brown fights his way forward before a nice tackle by Kendall Ballman, going for the legs of the big Armani Brown. And so Foresters do get a first down on that run from Armani Brown. As they're starting this offensive drive in the second half with some momentum. As Adam mentioned, Stewart 11 for 13 passing in the first half, 132 yards, 3 touchdowns. Hands it off to Armani Brown again. And Brown again fights forward, takes like 4 members of the Prairie Fire to bring Armani Brown down.
Well, Brown just continuing to be a force to reckon with in the run game. A guy I don't want to put myself in front of, I can tell you that. He would plow right through me.
Again, yeah, me too. Brown, 5'11", 210 pounds, a senior from Chicago, product of Rich East High School. So second down and 8.
Stewart currently carrying his best completion rate in a game at 84.6%. Entering play today was 68.8. That was against Chicago.
So this time I'll hand it off to Damon Bonds, who makes a couple men miss and is down for another short gain, just shy of midfield. So third down and about 5, as the Foresters did have a good conversion rate of 4 for 5, 80% in the first half.
Yes,
continue that.
Stewart really found a nice rhythm early in this game, albeit the one throwing error on the interception, but he's been excellent, much better rhythm, and a lot of guys continuing to step up. The offensive line doing a great job, providing some time and space for Stewart to make some of those plays.
Stewart will throw it this time, and that time it is caught by Jake Castries. And Castries is across midfield to about the 42-yard line. That's Castries' first catch of the game. And the Foresters have another first down.
Castries, one of those tight ends. He's the second-string tight end entering play today, playing behind Alan Hansen, but it's targeted right there. Nice reception for Castries, maybe a little bit of confidence for himself in his own game, too.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Cap before the first game of the season. He compared Castries, he's built like an NFL tight end, kind of similar like a Jimmy Graham. Definitely looking to make some steps forward this season as they hand it off to Armani Brown. Gets another couple of yards. Brown now with 49 on the ground so far.
And that was Castries' first reception of the season. So nice to see that for the Forester tight end.
Castries, a sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. So So Foresters now have 2nd and 9. Ran the ball right out the Prairie Fire front 8 as they hand it off again to Armani Brown, who is across the 40. And again, it'll bring us to 3rd down for the Foresters, who are now 5 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
And that's one of those areas of the game you want to win, that area of the game, and normally translates to a lot of success. And when you're able to click on 3rd down, it's just a nice thing for the offense to be able to extend those drives, and it forces your opposition's defense to have to stay on the field longer and ultimately continue to wear them down.
So 3rd down and 5. Foresters have a nice little drive going and start out the half. We'll hand it off to Armani Brown again, who makes a man miss. And Brown's inside the 20. Jukes the man and is down inside the 15. Nice run there by Armani Brown. A run of 24 yards about. That's Brown's longest run of the game. And the Foresters are again threatening the score in the red zone of the Prairie Fire.
Brown has already found his way into the end zone on a 20-yard pass reception. That time he was trying to do it in the run game. That's one of those facets of the game that he really excels at as the senior running back. That two-headed machine that you called, Bonds and Brown. It's a force to be reckoned with for Lake Forest.
Credit Kendall Woman on the tackle finally as they take the handoff to Bonds, and that's a pass to Jelovic, who initially dropped it, but I guess it was a backwards pass. He was able to recover what was technically a fumble.
Well, this drive began on the Lake Forest 33-yard line. They've done a great job marching their way down the field on this drive.
So they'll officially call that as an incomplete pass. They'll say that Jelovic was ahead of Stewart. That was a forward pass. So 2nd down and 10 now at the Knox 14-yard line. Foresters with a nice 6-minute drive here, threatening to score again, already up 34-7. After that pick 6 to close the first half. Stewart takes the handoff and finds Matoyer at about the 5-yard line, where he's dragged out of bounds by Anthony Garcia.
Nice job too by Matoyer, keeping his foot in bounds, just needing 1 foot at the college level to make it a fair catch. Matoyer does just that. He's been another player in this game that has factored offensively. Already has his first career touchdown.
So 3rd down and short. Foresters would really like to start off this half with a touchdown, and they're threatening to do just that. Here with 9 minutes in the quarter remaining. Here is Armani Brown, who finds an opening, and Armani Brown's in the end zone for a touchdown, Foresters.
It's his 5th touchdown of the season for Armani Brown, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, the 2nd of the game, and what an excellent game it has been for the senior Armani Brown. You have to wonder, as this league grows for Lake Forest, how long a guy like Trey Stewart stays in this game before the reins go to Wallace or Gasca.
Well, for right now, it's the extra point for Beckham Sonnabend. And Beckham Sonnabend is good once again. He is 5 for 6 in this game. So he gets the Foresters' extended lead 41-7 with 9 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Already the 3rd time this season, 3 possible tries, the Foresters have registered 40 or more points in a game. The offense continuing to be thunderous. This time at Farwell Field. A week ago they had to battle some inclement weather in Appleton, Wisconsin.
So Logan Person will kick off for the Foresters. And Knox will look to return. And it'll be Tyler Elfring and Cole Gino back to, or I believe that's Hunter Anderson rather. So Elfring and Anderson back to return for the Prairie Fire as Person kicks it off. And it'll be Elfring catching at about the 15, pushing his blockers, and down at about the 34-yard line before a big hit by the Foresters' Trenton Tyson. There's an injured Prairie Fire player down. That's Darnell Centeno. Centeno had a nice hit on a Forester player in the second half, but needing some medical attention here.
Looks something with his lower body.
Yeah, as you see, trainer trying to stretch out that leg, that right leg.
Wonder if it's a cramp, something of that nature.
Looks like he is going to be helped off the field. Putting very little weight on that right leg, but always good to see any injured player walking under his own power. Let's see if his teammates can find a score for him.
So Cale Williams, 4 for 11 incompletions on the afternoon.
Knox trying to get some momentum started. Already down 34 as Williams takes the handoff and gets tackled after a short gain by Dylan Peterson and Javon Quinn. And now there's an injured Forester, it looks like. So the Lake Forest training staff will come onto the field.
Team health always big factor for any team, and at the juggernaut of a season, obviously it's kind of that marathon of trying to keep your players healthy, and already you've seen it this season. The Foresters battling their own injuries on the young season, and nice to see.
Again, that's the captain, Justin Albee.
Justin Albee, yes, like you mentioned.
Luckily able to walk up under his own power. Hopefully he'll return soon, as well as Centeno for Knox.
Yeah, one of those
fans cheering Albee's name. Definitely a fan favorite among the Forester faithful.
Yeah, definitely one of those leaders defensively, but just an all-around great person. Just seeing him around campus, always a fun guy to chat it up with, and you know that he's leaned upon heavily.
Meanwhile, Williams completes a short pass to Tyler Elfring, who's across the 40-yard line, and immediately tackled by Jimmy Lonegro. So third down and about 1 for Knox as they look to score some points early on this first drive of the half. Williams under center, hands it off to Sam Walker, who fights his way forward for a first down. That is Walker's second carry of the game. He fumbled on his first carry on one of the first plays of the game. Set up the Foresters for good field position for their first score.
Yeah, quick note, nice to see Albee back with his teammates, has his helmet strapped up. He's ready to go back into battle. So really nice sign to see him quickly recover and rejoin his teammates.
Meanwhile, 1st and 10. Williams rolls to his left, being chased, eludes the defender, now going to run for it. And I believe he was tackled just a little bit short of the 1st down, as he eluded the running arms of Donovan Plummer, and finally tackled by Robert McPhee, shortly line the game.
Stewart in this game more than doubling Williams in passing yards. Obviously, we knew coming into this game it was a triple option style offense run by the Prairie Fire, so big reason in that large margin.
Here's Williams again. He'll dump it off to Hunter Anderson, who stiff arms a man and plows over a Forester defender and is across the 30. Some nice yards after catch for Hunter Anderson.
Maybe you heard my voice before that play. A nice little completion, extra yards after a catch, always make a noticeable difference in any play. Williams looks to try and re-energize his team, which has been held off the scoreboard since the first quarter.
Knox has a nice little drive going almost in the red zone. And Williams fakes the handoff and is immediately tackled. That is Jalen Johnson, who got there first. And that was looked to be miscommunication by the Knox offense.
That it was, and Lake Forest capitalizing on that. Johnson, not sure if they're going to rule that a sack. They took down Williams in the backfield. Once again, the stout defense of Lake Forest proving to be challenging for the Prairie Fire and them trying to find any rhythm offensively.
So a loss of 3 on that play, so 2nd down and 13. As Williams looks to pass, and he's sacked again by Jalen Johnson. What a sequence of 2 straight plays by Jalen Johnson.
The beat goes on for Jalen Johnson. Excellent reads off the line of scrimmage, able to beat the offensive line of Knox and getting his hands and some physicality on the Knox quarterback. And obviously, the more times you can get to Williams, the more and more he's going to reconsidering holding onto the football as long as he likes to.
So 3rd down and 19. This will be the longest 3rd down conversion attempt by either team. Looks like there'll be a whistle before the snap and a timeout called by Knox.
Excellent. Perfect time, really, to call a timeout, to use it after watching your quarterback sacked on back-to-back plays by the same customer in Jalen Johnson. And maybe that's something the Foresters are starting to pick up from their defensive line that they've just exploited and now have forced them to 3rd and long, 3rd and 19.
Probably in 4th down territory or Knox. As you said, just a little less than 20 minutes left in this game. Knox down 41-7. If you have any slim chance of coming back, which however slim it may be, it's gonna be down to pretty much 0 if we don't get this 3rd down and 4th down conversion.
Yeah, we don't have all those win metrics or analytics, but that curve changes throughout the course of a game. Obviously, they would help their case out if they cash one in on this drive. Really, if you are the Prairie Fire, it's more so just a matter of finding some confidence, finding that rhythm.
So 3rd down and 19. Cale Williams in the shotgun with Anderson behind him. Sends air turner in motion. And Williams will look to throw, and he's sacked again. That time it's Donovan Plummer who got there first.
the trifecta there for Lake Forest. It was Jalen Johnson the first 2 times, and this time Donovan Plummer gets into the action, and Lake Forest, again, that defensive prowess that they are known for, absolutely shutting down Knox here to begin the second half. We're really into the late stages of the third quarter.
And for Knox, looks like they're going to punt it. It's 4th and a mile. And again, it'll be Preston Lade handling the punting duties. Almost blocked. But it will roll into the end zone for a touchback.
Looked to be Dominic Lewis, who would have returned.
Or it was Jace Knutson, I think.
No, sorry, yeah. Jace Knutson, who would have returned it for Lake Forest, but it doesn't matter anymore, and looks yep, Trey Stewart will march his way back onto the field, so his day not done yet. He is yet to play in all 4 quarters in a game this season. He's been relieved by Josh Gaska in week 1, and in week 2, Vincent Wallace and Josh Gaska got some reps in that game against Lawrence.
Well, Stewart will hand it off to Damon Bonds, who makes a couple men miss before he's pushed out of bounds across the 30. A nice misdirection run by Damon Bonds. Tackled by Kendall Ballman was Bonds.
Bonds now at 42 rushing yards. Armani Brown leading the way with 81.
As Trey Stewart gets the shotgun again, and this time he'll fake the handoff to Bonds, and he passed it behind Alan Hansen. Oh, couldn't connect with the tight end. And so incomplete, 3rd down and 4 for the Foresters. Foresters 7 for 8 on 3rd downs in this game. As Stewart finds his man that time he connects with Hansen, but did he have enough for the first down? They say he did have enough.
Foresters now have their 17th first down of the afternoon.
And that's Hansen's first catch of the game.
Nice to see Hansen being able to hold on to that low target. So he's losing his footing as well.
As Stewart hands it off to Bonds. And he's finally corkscrewed down at about the 45. As we mentioned, it's kind of been a 2-headed monster running the ball for the Foresters. Last possession, rather, was Armani Brown. This time it's been Damon Bonds.
That it has, and really nice when you kind of flip back and forth between a 1A, 1B kind of style in the run game for Lake Forest. 2-headed monster and Brown and Damon Bonds. Brown known as that bruising running back. Damon Bonds known for his speed. Lightning in a bottle, as Coach Cat likes to describe it.
Stewart dumps it off to Bonds now. Tries to make some guys miss. And he's finally brought down by 3 Prairie Fire defenders at about the 44-43 yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and short.
Forster is 7 for 8 on 3rd downs this afternoon.
Again, Stewart in the shotgun with Bonds right behind him. Hands it off to the senior, Damon Bonds. Makes a couple men miss and is across the 45 of Knox.
Sweet athleticism displayed by Bonds, hurtling over a Knox defender, continuing to pick up some extra yards on that carry. He has been explosive in the run game for Lake Forest.
As the Foresters another first down with about a minute left in the third quarter.
No problem winding down this clock for Stewart. Just a matter of watching the play clock.
6 seconds on that. Looks like they will get the playoff easily, though. As Stewart fakes the handoff and immediately faces some pressure. And he's downed by John Sarich. And credit also Caleb Spinks there for capturing his feet, just allowing him to move, and brings the Foresters back to midfield.
That time.
So that was the Foresters' second time being sacked, or Trey Stewart's second time being sacked of the game.
Ties season most sacks numbered in a game for Stewart. And the number 2, only sacked once last week against Lawrence.
Last play of the quarter, Stewart rolls to his left, looking down the field, and Hansen just couldn't hang on to it. Nice effort by Alan Hansen, but just couldn't get both the foot and the catch made.
He's hoping to climb the ladder that time, and that will complete the third quarter, which saw Lake Forest continue to expand its lead on the Armani Brown 5-yard run for his second touchdown of the afternoon, and Lake Forest continuing their dominance over Knox as of late.
So 3rd down and 16 as we start the fourth quarter for the Foresters. Right from midfield as Stewart immediately is rushed, and he'll just get rid of it as fast as he can. Almost caught by Coach Catanzaro. But again, that was Caleb Spinks who forced the pass, but
Spinks kind of has been one of those guys that is.
So it'll be a penalty called on the Foresters.
Spinks, though, one of those guys that has created some havoc and some problems for Stewart. He's gotten to the Lake Forest quarterback on a number of occasions.
Definitely a big factor in this game, as Logan Person will look to punt on 4th down. Kendall Ballman will return.
One of the few times Lake Forest unsuccessful on 3rd down.
Knox calls the timeout. They only have one left. We're just starting the fourth quarter.
I don't really like their configuration on the field.
Looks like they're going to try to block this one. They have 10 men right on the line of scrimmage. Or try to bum rush the line and go for the block. Again, Person will punt it for the Foresters. And he does get it off. A beautiful punt. And Ballman catches it inside the 10. and makes a couple men miss before he is dragged down about the 21-yard line. Does it look like Jimmy Lonergan was there first for the Foresters?
Good job getting that kick off. There is a multitude of bodies in front of him. That would have been a dangerous play if Knox was able to get there in time. As you said, try and bum rush Lake Forest, trying to do anything possible to try and get into the red zone in a hurry and put the Foresters on their heels defensively.
So Cale Williams back in at quarterback. And he'll pitch it to Hunter Anderson, who's tackled immediately. And what a tackle that time by Trenton Brill, who had that amazing play to end the first half, and he gets that nice tackle there.
They have Knox has one timeout remaining. Okay, gotcha.
Excellent job by Trenton Brill getting to Anderson. And again, not allowing any positive yardage for the Prairie Fire.
And now 2nd and 12 from the 20. As Williams will look to pass and finds his man. Nice catch by Niko Powe, who fights forward for the first down. Nice job by Powe to both fight for that catch and fight his way forward for the first down. Freshman from Kewanee, Illinois, Niko Powe. So first down and 10 from the Knox 40-yard line. As Williams takes it from center. And again finds Powe, or Niko Powe rather, who again might have fought his way for another first down. Looks like they'll say he was just a couple feet short. So 2nd down and inches for the Foresters, or for the Prairie Fire. Williams sends Anderson in motion, and will hand it off to Sam Walker, who fights his way forward for another first down. Walker, the international guy from the UK.
.43 yards on the season entering play for Sam Walker on 15 carries this season for the UK native.
So Knox now across midfield. Williams will pitch it now to Anderson, but out of reach of Anderson, and Anderson has to play keep away now to avoid a huge loss of yards. And he'll just throw it away, and that's a fumble recovery by Brandon Rollins. I'm not sure what Anderson was thinking there, just getting rid of the ball. But Rollins recovers it for the Foresters.
I don't know if he meant to give the ball away at all. I think he was trying to twist and turn, and the ball got knocked free. And Brandon Rollins, is the one who's able to pick it up on the fumble recovery. We saw a high snap earlier in this game. And right now, the Knox Prairie Fire just all out of sorts as the Foresters' defense continues its domination in week 3.
And there's Trace Stewart back in at QB for Lake Forest. He hands it off to Armani Brown, who finds an opening. And Armani Brown finally dragged down again. Takes it sometimes about 3 or 4 Knox defenders to take Armani Brown down. But there is a flag that'll be holding on Jake Castries. So that'll send the Foresters back. After that nice run by Armani Brown. So 1st and 20 for the Foresters.
And again, what a way for the Foresters. Number of guys, total team effort in this game, stepping up for guys who are battling injuries, and again, kind of that plug and play kind of theme.
And they'll hand it off to Armani Brown, who pushes his way forward past the original line of scrimmage. So a nice run for Armani Brown. 2nd down and about 9.
Brown this afternoon, his longest was a 24-yard carry.
A nice game for Brown, 5.9 yards per carry, 89 yards total on the ground for the senior from Chicago. They'll hand it off to him again, and he is tackled immediately in the backfield. Nice play there by Kendall Ballman to wrap up the feet and ankles of Armani Brown.
One thing, talking to Coach Catanzaro, says it doesn't matter who the players on the field are. It's that same scheme. The scheme is not going to change. It's a matter of carrying it out and executing. And Lake Forest, once again, finding ways to continue to execute their game plan and impose it on their opposition.
It looks like Armani Brown did get a little tweaked on that play. One of his legs, it looked like he was kind of gingering off the field, but for now, Damon Bonds will take it. It didn't look like anything too serious for the future, but here's Trey Stewart rolling to his right. And instead, he'll just run for a couple yards and tackled for a short gain.
That play right there, a perfect example of this offense, not by design for Trey Stewart to be a running quarterback. Obviously, it looked to be a passing play, then kind of had to scramble out of the pocket, and an elusive guy, a guy that is athletic and very much capable of trying to pick up some yards and prevent himself from being sacked. But again, perfect case right there, trying to make something happen as lanes closed down on him in a hurry.
So kind of in that no man's land, Foresters go for it on 4th down and 2. Here's Damon Bonds. Makes a couple men miss. And finally, eventually fights his way forward for a 1st down. And what a run by Damon Bonds.
Creativity on display there for Damon Bonds. So Jake De La Torre will come onto the field and see if he might be the player targeted. Wide receiver and Jake De La Torre. Lake Forest finding ways to extend their drives, extend possessions. That time it was Damon Bonds was able to make something happen, and it looks like Lake Forest is going to elect to use a timeout.
That's exactly what they will do with 8:36 left in the 4th quarter. Forest are still up 41-7 at the Knox 29-yard line. They are driving. As you mentioned, time running out for Knox in this game. They not really have very little of any chance to come back, it looks like. When do you think the Foresters are going to put in their reserves to try to keep some guys healthy?
I'd have to imagine this looks to be the final drive for guys like Trey Stewart, Brown, Bonds. They have put their signature on this game. Just taking a look at Armani Brown in the run game, 16 carries, 90 yards. His longest was a 24-yard carry. Damon Bonds, 12 rushes, 63 yards on the ground. And Trey Stewart has been excellent, 16 for 21, 173 yards in the passing game.
For now, Stewart back to pass. Looks and finds his man, Langston Matoyer, inside the 10. Langston Matoyer, leading receiver in both on the season and in this game. That's his 5th catch of the afternoon. And he has the Foresters inside the 10.
Latoyer has been targeted 5 times now in this game. 12.5 yards per reception on average. His longest was a 20-yard reception. And again, one of those guys that's able to get down the field and create a mismatch and an electric player offensively.
This time they'll keep it with Stewart on that zone read, and Stewart's in the end zone for a touchdown.
That's Stewart's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. He ran one in last week for a 7-yard rushing touchdown. He runs one in once again and again, continuing to be that dual threat quarterback. That time he uses his speed.
So Beckham Sonnabend on for the PAT. And that time he's good. 6 for 7 is Sonnabend. Makes it 48-7. Foresters on top, 7:48 left in this game.
Well, Stewart, back-to-back weeks with 7-yard rushing touchdowns. Considers himself a dependable player, a guy that offensive coordinator and head coach, Coach Catanzaro, can rely on time and time again, continuing to make plays. Well, let's not forget Damon Bonds extending that drive, picking up that first down. Lake Forest in this game has been excellent on their 3rd down conversions today.
8 for 11 on 3rd downs.
73%. Again, a big factor as to why they have been so dangerous offensively, and really at times creating something out of nothing, allowing their players to be creative within the playbook.
Logan Person kicks off for the Foresters, and it'll be Ballman catching it and returning it across the 15, and gets a few Foresters to miss before he's finally dragged down at about the 22-yard line. Kendall Ballman. That was his 4th kickoff return of the afternoon. For about 83 yards, so a nice day kicking, returning for Kendall Ballman. And it looks like the Prairie Fire are going to send in their 2nd string offense, looking to get some young guys to get some experience. That's AJ Vasquez as the new quarterback for the Prairie Fire. It'll be a flag. And with that mass substitution, they couldn't get everyone on in time, and it'll be a delay of game on Knox. So 1st and 15. Again, Knox brings in their 2nd team offense.
Is first appearance of the season for their 2nd string quarterback.
AJ Vasquez.
Vasquez, yep.
As Vasquez keeps it, his first snap, and he's tackled after a short gain by Zach McInnes. Robert McPhee also in on that tackle. So 2nd down and 11. Again, as you said, this is Vasquez's first action of the season.
Vasquez, a Whittier, California native around my neck of the woods in Southern California in his sophomore season, making his collegiate debut. Excuse me. His season debut did.
He did have 2 rushing yards in the season opener against Westminster. So another delay of game. 2nd and 16 now for the Prairie Fire. Vasquez hands it off to Sam Walker, who rumbles his way forward for a short gain. 3rd down now for the Prairie Fire. Mark Rice in there on the tackle.
Rice with a sack in the 55-0 victory over Lawrence a week ago. Forster's making some changes late to the play, able to get everyone on.
It seems like both teams trying to get as many guys some experience as possible, but doing it late on the play clock. As here is Vasquez rolling to his right. And incomplete on that one. There's a flag, but that pass was intended for Tyrell Pierce. But Knox will get an automatic first down on that roughing the passer penalty.
Robbie McPhee leading the way with 8 tackles, 4 solo and 4 helpers on the assist. So he's really made his stamp on this game. Jalen Johnson, 3 tackles. 2 of those were sacks on back-to-back plays.
So after that roughing the passer penalty, it'll be first down and 10 for Knox from the 34. Vasquez hands it off to Walker, who has some room. And Walker is tackled after a gain of about 6 by Trenton Braille. Of course, had that nice pick 6 on the first half, as well as a great tackle in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 3 for Knox. 5:30 left in the 4th quarter. Vasquez takes the handoff and he'll take it himself, but not for long, and he's stopped by 2 Forester defenders.
So Vasquez yet to make an attempt to throw the football.
Or he did throw that one roughing the got called as a roughing the passer.
I don't know if they might not have given it to him as a pass attempt.
It was definitely a pass attempt. It might not be on the stat sheet, but it was definitely a pass attempt.
Well, again, it's that triple option that they run on offense.
They hand it off to Walker on 3rd down.
Once again, continuing to run the football are the Prairie Fire, and an offense normally designed by military schools like Army, Navy, and Air Force, those teams.
Well, it used to be run by a lot of big college teams in the 70s and 80s. It really gained popularity. Now it's mostly just by some college teams and a couple some military teams and a couple non-military schools, such as Knox. But definitely an interesting offense to watch. So first down, 4 minutes left in the game, as Vasquez hands it off, and he's stopped immediately. I guess Vasquez did keep that one.
My only guess as to why they didn't credit him with the pass attempt is because the Foresters were given a roughing the passer penalty and the first down was awarded via penalty and not by a reception. That's my only guess on that, Ian, as to why it might not show up on the stat sheet there.
So 2nd down and 9. Vasquez under center. I haven't really seen him in the shotgun so far. And he fumbles. And that one is recovered by the Foresters, but the officials are saying he was down by contact. So Knox catches a break.
Already 2 fumbles on the day for Knox College. Kendall Ballman and Sam Walker.
So 3rd down and 10. Foresters make a substitution. Looking to hold Knox under 10 points as they have. And this is their 3rd game of the season as the fans making some noise as Vasquez finds a man who fumbled it out of bounds. Tyrell Pierce was the one who made the catch, but fumbled it out of bounds. So another lucky bounce for Knox.
Excellent pressure by the Lake Forest defense, obviously.
Darian Miller had that tackle who forced the fumble.
The reception was made, but again, Lake Forest gets there in a hurry and almost forces Knox into their 3rd fumble of the afternoon.
Inside of 2 minutes, Vasquez hands it off again to Walker. And Walker fighting his way forward, but nowhere to run. Only about a yard gain.
That reception by
Was Tyrell Pierce.
Tyrell Pierce gives Vasquez his first completion of the season.
So 2nd down and 9, just over a minute left. Is just running out the clock at this point. Foresters obviously have had this game in the bag for a while.
This should go down as...
It looks like someone moved early.
Should go down as the first game this season Trey Stewart has played in all 4 quarters. And a complete game for him. He was excellent in the passing game for Lake Forest.
He sure was. He was 17 for 22 on his completions, 3 touchdowns. He did have that interception at the end of the first half. But a nice game for Trey Stewart. As we mentioned, Coach Catanzaro did say that he hasn't had all of his receivers at his disposal in one game. So delay of game penalty on Knox again, which means a 10-second runoff. So 10 seconds off the clock, so 48 seconds left. In this game. Second down and 14. As Vasquez gets it from under center. And he will keep it. And a nice fake out, and Vasquez has some running room inside the 15. And Vasquez in for a touchdown.
Vasquez takes it all the way to the house for his first collegiate touchdown. And who would have guessed it? It's a rushing touchdown. Their 2nd of the afternoon, and the most points the Foresters have surrendered in the young season. But again, anytime coverage is blown or missed, it results in the big play. This time it's Vasquez doing the honors. Very similar to Williams, who had the first touchdown of the game.
Credit that touchdown to the fake by AJ Vasquez, who faked me out on that zone read. So Preston Lade been perfect on extra points so far this season, and it remains that way. So 48-14 now the score with 27 seconds left.
Again, overall, though, excellent job at the Forester defense. They made some big-time plays when they needed it the most. 2 interceptions. The big one, Trenton Braille, the 81-yard pick 6, which was tipped off Javen Quinn. Jalen Johnson with 2 sacks in the game. Donovan Plummer had a sack in this game. And Robbie McPhee credited with 9 tackles on the game.
As well as a half sack for Robbie McPhee. So Preston Lade will kick off the ball for probably the last time in this game, barring something spectacular. And it looks like Lake Forest is going to call a timeout. Can't take them home with you, so why not use them? Discuss some extra stuff with your players. That's what Coach Catanzaro is doing.
Well, next week for the Foresters, it's Cornell College.
Well, next week both teams have a bye next week, and then Knox will come back home to Galesburg, Illinois on October 1st to play the University of Chicago. And Lake Forest will travel to Cornell on October the 1st. So both teams have a bye next week.
3 weeks off in between home games here for the Foresters, and no more perfect of a time for the bye weeks to come. Great opportunity for the Foresters to get some of their key players back to full health.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Dante Esposito hasn't played this season. AJ Jackson's played very limitedly this season. And we saw Justin Albee got shaken up earlier in this game. So definitely a nice time for the bye week coming for the Foresters as Damon Bonds makes a fair catch at the 15.
Lake Forest will be on the road when they take on Cornell. Last season when they played them, it was a game which was weather delayed and ultimately was a 1-half game, which the Foresters shut them out by a score of 17-0. It was actually a disputed game, which could have caused some difficulties on their perfect season and playoff implications, but then it was ultimately ruled a complete game, and the Foresters came away with the victory.
Yeah, that was homecoming weekend here at Farwell Field.
This season, it's Illinois College the Foresters will face for homecoming, and looks like they will
nail it down one more time for Trey Stewart. They'll have to nail it once more. Or no, they won't, never mind. And that will do it from Farwell Field. Foresters will come away with the victory, improving to 3-0 on the season, 2-0 in the Midwest Conference.
Yeah.
48-14 victory over the Knox College Prairie Fire. As for Knox, they will move to 1-2 on the season, 0-2 in the Midwest Conference. As we just mentioned, both schools have bye weeks next week.
The Foresters continue their defense of the Midwest Conference, and they continue their streak, winning 9 home games in a row dating back to the 2019 season. They've won 13 straight conference games and 16 consecutive regular season games. Foresters continuing their dominance, and again, a large part was their defense that started it off, and then the offense really continued to roll. Really nice to see Trey Stewart start to find his form in the passing game. Just a week ago, he did not throw for any touchdowns. He was 10 for 18. This week, he changed that in a big way. 17 for 22.
They got some ballers.
Career best completion percentage. How about Armani Brown in the running game? He was explosive, really one of those engines offensively.
Absolutely, and as we just mentioned, looking ahead to the future for both teams. Both teams have next week off, a bye week for both teams, as Knox will look ahead for their return home against the University of Chicago on October 1st, and Lake Forest will travel to Cornell on October 1st before coming back home for our next broadcast on October 8th, homecoming weekend against Illinois College. It should be a great one, Adam. But until then, I've been Ian Goldstein alongside Adam Pleasure. We thank you for joining us.
All right, y'all. Y'all seen it go up, and y'all seen it go down. Number 83 went out. He got 2 receptions. I want to say for a total of about 20 yards. So maybe incorporate him a little more. Hey, but you know, what do I know on here? We're gonna keep monitoring it, and so we are definitely thankful for it. We hope that you have a great rest of your day. It's probably blocking off of that. We hope you have a great rest of the day, and that's Alive in the Game.